What is up, traders? Past my three Apex 50k evals today. So we have activated those. We now have 3 funded 50k Apex accounts. Pretty solid. I did buy 5 more evals just because they're 90% off. So might as well take advantage while we can. Now, diving into the market really quick, I just want to do a midweek recap on what we talked about at the beginning of the week and what we're looking at now. So, I'd marked this area out previously. It is acting very well as support currently. Now, you can see we're approaching last week's high up here, and that's going to have us possibly rejecting. It's really hard to say. We're just really stuck in this range, man. Like this just ugly, ugly range. Now, State of the Union address tonight. We've got NVIDIA earnings tomorrow. Maybe add a little bit of something into the market. I don't know. Any of my trend line trader type people out there. Good looking little break of that previous trend line. We came up to it on Friday, rejected off of it, and then Sunday and Monday stayed underneath it. Today was the first day we've really seen a close above. So, targeting, we should see 25,206-ish area. Who knows really what that's going to look like. It could easily just fall off the edge of a cliff here. Lately with price action, that wouldn't shock me at all. The breakout trades just have been tough. Switching over into this other chart here, this has our new week opening gaps on it. Previous day high, previous day low. Previous day high just so happens to be just above this week's new week opening gap. And then we are currently trading into the new week opening gap from the beginning of February. So we're starting to recover, all the way from February 12th. We traded the 18th and then traded again on the 20th. So we're back up in this area. If we can get up above and hold above this 25,154 area, no real reason why we shouldn't extend further. I'm sure there will be plenty of retests to catch that move. But market's really just sitting in a range right now. If you're being chopped up this week in the market, it's probably not a bad idea to be pretty hands-off going in Wednesday. I have the 50K evals with Apex that I'll likely be trading tomorrow. I don't know if I'll take a trade in my funded account. Price action's got to be nice and clean for me in order to do that. I trade off of this confluence of a 14 EMA and a 50 EMA. So things I look for are really something like this in today's price action. This was later in the afternoon, so I was done trading. By then, my first trade of the day was catching the pickup on out of this area here, and that was just all I needed. Price ended up coming back down, but I was looking for a 20-point move, really, where went to break even really quick on the exit out of that EMA. So here you can see EMA is at 24,863. That's at 805. And then if we go back here, 24,863 at 805. So that was this pump here. Entry would have been 24,867. And I don't know why it's cutting off the right side of my chart, but 24,867. And then this candle went all the way up to 24,896. So it was more than I needed. So I was able to capture that, and I was done for the day. This was a real pretty move up over the EMAs and just pump all the way up, nice and slow. Bookmap looked really good on it. Buyers were in complete control of that entire move. As you can see, just a dozen green candles in a row, all the way from 8:16 to 8:30. Yeah, so over a dozen, actually. Where other than that, on the higher time frame side, there's really not a ton of stuff going on here. I mean, we are just caught up in this range. This is sitting between 24,700 and 25,100 range that we really need to get out of this area. If we look at a volume profile, let's see, let's do it on this one. Visible range volume profile, that's going to show us our volume density throughout this. And yuck, all this down here, 24,884, 24,764. We did today put a decent volume shelf here, 25,013 to 25,040. So, you know, not a bad area. If we can get a good pump up out of the range and maybe a retest back into it, that would be a really appealing area to get into. If we can keep pushing up out of the range, there's really no reason why we shouldn't be trading 25,200s. That's if momentum kicks in. Again, I've got a lot of stuff going on tomorrow and tonight where, you know, let's just be patient, sit on your hands, be patient. I say that twice for a reason. Remember, you are your own worst enemy, where the worst thing traders struggle with is their mental. I am one of them. Revenge trading is probably one of my greatest flaws. Trying to do better at it. These recordings are part of that, where just holding me accountable. Talking to people, just trying to really lock in on the whole thing, to be entirely honest. So going into the week, protect yourself, protect your capital, you know, just be patient. We should get some sort of movement by the end of the week. Maybe, maybe not. Market's in a weird place. A lot of geopolitical concerns. You got Iran, all the crazy stuff going on in Mexico, where, you know, who knows what's going to go on. But other than that, if anybody has any questions, hit me up. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Banshee Capital, same as my YouTube. And then if you have questions, let me know. If you want me to dive into anything real specific, kind of give you my 2 cents on it, let me know. I'll make a video on it or a short on it or something. But other than that, I hope everybody has a great night. I hope everybody's having a great start to their week. Tomorrow is Wednesday, hump day. And we're halfway there, man, halfway through. I work full-time while I trade, so I am ready for tomorrow because it's my day off. So I get to sit and actually enjoy trading for a good portion of the morning. I try to be done by 10:30. That's a hard rule I've got, where I'm usually up pretty early pre-market, hanging out with your boy Rips, and then usually have a couple hours of trading in the morning and then just spend the rest of the day hanging out around the house. It's going to be nice. I'm really excited about it. I got some errands I got to do in the later afternoon, but hopefully can catch my move early enough. And then I actually got some lucid 50Ks too, so we'll try getting into those. I got the 50K flex account, which will be pretty interesting. But yeah, all in all, current trend is bullish. That is our 1 hour algo driven trend that is determined based on the separation between the 50 EMA and the 14 EMA and their slope. So if we go into a different time frame, 5 minutes bullish, 1 minute to chop. So depending on what we're in, this is what determines what I'm looking for. I run this in confluence with VWAP as well. So if we're above VWAP, I'm looking for longs. If we're under VWAP, I'm looking for shorts. I just kind of keep that bare rule. And then I'm sure you saw on my multi-index window too, down here at the bottom. This is something ASFX. I saw it on one of his screens. So we just went over into Trusty Gemini and asked it to make the code for this. So this is free on TradingView. It's just under multi-index. Let me pull this over so you can see it. Multi-index VWAP dashboard, bottom right. And then it allows you to go in, change the position, text size, dot size. You can also do, a bubble. So it'll change the way they look down here if you just want something a little different. Or a ring. It's kind of simple. Green is bullish, red is bearish. Don't shoot the messenger, but you'd be amazed some of the questions. And then it tracks whether price is trending, bearish, bullish, what it's looking like. And then it's the confluence of the three markets, so NQ, ES, and YM. And then New York VWAP, previous day New York VWAP, low of day VWAP, the high of day VWAP, and whether we're above or below the opening range, 15-minute opening range, and the overall trend. Why that's saying bearish, probably because of this double top, to be honest. If we go into a higher time frame, that'll all change because it restructures itself based on slope of the EMAs, where I'm more of a 30-minute and under. I pay attention to the hourly candles more for overall big picture, but 15-minute, 5-minute, 3-minute, primarily 5-minute. 5 minutes kind of my bread and butter just because I'm looking for 15-point risk, 25 to 40-point take profit, quick break even, and if we get there, we get there. If we don't get there, it was a free trade, other than if we go straight to my stop loss, which happens about 30% of the time, so that's okay. But yeah, protect yourself, protect your capital, enjoy the week, enjoy what's left of your week. I hope everybody has a great day tomorrow. Be patient. If you don't like what the price is doing, just turn it off, man. It's the biggest thing I struggle with too, but I promise you, live to trade another day. I literally have a wallpaper on my phone that says a losing session is better than losing my account. Let's get rid of all these really quick, just so we're not all up in your boy's business. A losing session is better than losing my account. If you want it, let me know. I'll send it to you for free. That's also from our good friend Gemini or ChatGPT, one of the two. I had one of those make it. But all in all, have a great week. I've said that like 5 times. I'm out of here. And we'll see you in the next one. Like, follow, subscribe, and keep on keeping on.